And we're back for another awesome Coffee with Laura. Fun fact, I don't actually drink coffee, but I kind of wish I did because I feel like that's what everybody does. Like when I would go to Starbucks with friends, I would just get hot chocolate. Maybe I am actually a 5-year-old. It's fine. Anyways, welcome back to Coffee with Laura. Ignore my coffee, but yeah, I don't drink coffee. Wish I did. Heard it's great for the whole energy thing. Maybe one day. Actually has anti-inflammatory properties too, so that's pretty cool. But today, I want to start with a story about a client of mine. We're going to call her Jenny. I should really just start calling all my clients Laura to make it easy, but we're going to call her Jenny because I feel like it. And Jenny and I started working together as a personal training client of mine. And we quickly became friends within the dynamic of our relationship because she would always come in after the hustle bustle of work and trying to get off the red line with Chicago, which is anyone who takes it. I don't know if it still is after COVID, but it was a pain in the butt. She'd always be super frazzled, and it was my fun job as I kind of worked her out to lighten her mood, laugh, and talk about life. So naturally, we talked about relationships and career. And it's almost as if I started to coach her before I actually started to coach her. First year, we really focused on just getting her body healthy because Jenny had a bad back. And, there was one time she didn't exercise that had injured her. And she kind of tried to ghost me a little bit, but I didn't let her. And I found her and I gave her a session on me. And I was like, let me show you what we can do. And it was great because months later, I had to remind her of when she had back pain. And she's like, oh my God, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Fast forward, after the first year, she started to get her fitness habits down. She started to feel more confident, but she wasn't losing weight the way she wanted. She really liked to drink, but she knew she needed to look at her food. And she kind of wanted to start with the fitness, and now that she was feeling better about that, she wanted to go into the food. So we started to go into the food. I gave her kind of a loose guidance, like get to know your macronutrients, I don't like tracking to keep track of calories. I think it's a useful way to learn the macronutrients within the food and understand a little bit more about how food makes you feel and the properties. So I told her to take those numbers off and just learn about the food. And for her mind, that was really hard. She couldn't help but track to try and hit the goal that they had told her to hit, which I didn't actually agree with. And it wasn't but 5 or 6 months later that she broke down crying to me and we kind of addressed it. And so I was like, okay, tracking's not going to work for her. So we tried something else. I sat down with her. We went through some of the meals that I ate. We talked about her taste buds and I actually gave her specific meals, which I don't love doing just because everybody and every person is so unique that who's to say what works for me is going to work for someone else or that she would even like them. So we really tried to find what would work for her. And I really went to the easy section because, I don't love cooking, but I respect its role in my life. She felt good after leaving our meeting. And I kind of let her guide me a little bit on it because I knew she was a more emotionally fragile around it. And yet again, about a month or two later, I just kind of was like, so what did you think of this meal? Like the taco pie. And she really broke down crying. She's like, I won't do it. I can't do it. What's wrong with me? And I noticed instantly that she was shaming and judging herself for not being able to do this. And I reminded her, nothing's wrong with you, Jenny. You're absolutely perfect. We just need to understand what's going on. And one of the big challenges was she hates going to the grocery store. And she didn't like the idea of anyone dropping food off, and she didn't have a car, so she couldn't pick it up. So we decided to try another alternative with a healthy meal delivery company. That lasted for a couple months, but then she got fed up with the same meals and didn't really know what to do from there. And it was also very confusing about when to order and when not to. So it worked for about 1 or 2 months. She saw some results. She was happy with that, but then she found herself glued to it. And it was, again, back down. So then we started coaching together. We really started to work through the mindset and the behavior and started to understand. And she started to get more comfortable with the ordering groceries so that she didn't have to go to the grocery, so that they would just be delivered to her home. Perfect. So we got one of the major obstacles out of the window. But she still struggled. Now, at this point, I was living in Florida. So we even did a live virtual meal prepping. Like, we talked about our lives like we would when we were training, but I showed her how to make 2 or 3 meals at the same time for the rest of the week. And Jenny was happy. She thought it was good. And I kind of coached her through it. She texted me after that things were good. But the next time I coached her, she was like, it's just too much. I'm overwhelmed. And throughout this entire time, I always had said to her, you need to work with yourself. Like, being healthy isn't a rush. Like, you need to figure out what's stopping you now. You're trying to do too much. And she had a really hard time biting into that. Through our coaching, she was able to realize, like, maybe I need to try it a different way. And she had a big aha moment that she remembered having some trauma around her parents growing up at dinner time, and how that was hard for her to, so like she associated negative energy with meals and with food. So she just wanted to order in and make things that comforted her. And because so many of us weren't taught to deal with our emotions, but to avoid them, rub some dirt in them, we leaned towards food. And it really does take time and, most importantly, awareness to be able to break that. And then just recently she came to me and she goes, Laura, I figured it out. I'm like, what? She's like, I'm trying to be perfect. And I was like, in what avenue? And she told me about food, and I was like, how's that going? And she kind of laughed at me. She goes, not well. I know you've said this, but I just need to meet myself where I'm at. And I jumped with joy. We laughed, we celebrated, and we came up with a new plan that has now been working for several months. And she's excited. I can tell this will work, not only from all my experience, but because I'm listening and the mindset is different. So now, instead of trying to focus on cooking the most perfect, healthy meal, she's starting with what she likes and just trying to get the actual foundation of meal prepping under her belt so that she has that habit. I hated meal prepping when I first started, but the convenience of having all the food done outweighed the inconvenience of having to do it to begin with. It was a pain versus pleasure. And that's slowly what she's recognizing as well. So I told her to start at the meals that she already knows she likes, or like she goes to Chipotle or Pita Pit, and what does she like from those, and try to make them for herself. Jennyify them is what I try to tell her to do. And I also encourage her to store them in different ways. So one of the things that I've learned through meal prepping is it's really convenient to have everything put together and then just put it in the microwave and eat it. But sometimes it'll be soggy or just not the texture that you're looking for. So often there are certain meals that I have to keep fresh ingredients separate and then put them together for the actual meal so that it actually tastes and can be consumed to the texture that I enjoy. So as she's been trying these new recipes, she always starts by storing them 2 different ways. And then as she eats them, she assesses what she does like and what she doesn't like. And it's really going well for her. But I wonder, do you notice the problem within my story? Jenny was trying to do too much too fast. She was trying to get it all right away. Hey, Nikki, thank you for joining. I am talking about my client Jenny and her meal prepping journey, and how the most simple way to be successful is to really meet yourself where you're at. She was looking up all these healthy, like super duper healthy recipes and trying to do them, and then they wouldn't work. And I know I've done that. When I first got the Instapot, I tried the same recipe 3 times. I was like, either this machine is broken or I'm broken. I don't know. I don't get it. So I totally empathize with the experience, but why not start where you're at and build from the foundation up? We always want we want to buy a house with a good foundation. Why not build our healthy habits with a good foundation? And the real truth is, being healthy isn't going anywhere. It's always going to be something that is desired. But what we forget is being healthy happens gradually. Our cells are constantly changing. You don't crave healthy food when you first jump up. I used to live on chips and queso and pizza. What do you say? Meal prepping straight up stressed you out? Yeah, it is. But if you can learn the habit, like you said, Nikki, then you set yourself up for success and you can build on top of the healthy foundation. Becoming healthy is literally becoming healthy. I started with chips and queso and pizza. Then I went to pasta. I don't know if that was really a step up, but in my mind it was. Then I went to chicken. And slowly and surely, it's been migrating to the fact that I actually crave vegetables, which a younger version of me would think I'm crazy. But it just happens with time. So instead of focusing on getting healthy right now, maybe look at the 1, 2, 3 foundational pillars that you really want to build. The habit of moving your body. Who cares if it's an hour? Just move your body. The habit of working on your mind. If it's 5 minutes, if it's a minute, make it a habit. The habit of just meal prepping. Meal prep an unhealthy meal just to get the foundation of meal prepping. Foundation is so much more important. The habit is so much more important because once you have it, you can do anything with it. And if you are really looking for the support, the accountability to really get yourself to the next level, join me and Nikki, my kettlebell expert, for some awesome, transformational, life-changing program, the Stress-Free Healthy Me, going live March 7th. Nikki is there with live kettlebell workouts that you guys can do, and you will get mindset work, you will get the nutritional information, you will know exactly what to eat, how to think, to stop giving food power, stop making being healthy a chore. And the best of all, you get a community that you can belong to, where you can forever get tips, tricks, and access to an open, judgmental-free, warm, vulnerable environment, all with the same mission of trying to figure out how to be healthy and serve themselves best. And yes, Nikki, you are right. We are going to help so many people drop their stress and feel stronger in life. So if you are ready to join me and Nikki and the Stress-Free Healthy Me team, make sure you click the link in my bio. But whatever you do, meet yourself where you're at, focus on the foundation. Don't drive yourself nuts for years just trying to be perfect. You're perfect exactly how you are. I will see you guys next week for Coffee with Laura. Nikki, you're the best.